Good morning, Space Cadets. Man, I just had to get on here real quick. Really excited to let you know that I did finally release this project I had been working on in my free time, which is a book that I really want to share with everybody. And so, anyways, welcome back to the Mirror Point. Today is special because after months of writing, refining, and pulling together years of personal experience in my own journey, my philosophy, what I understand about philosophy, and scientific insight as well. I've officially released my new book, Beyond Separation: Integrating Non-Dual Wisdom into Daily Life. So this book is really cool. If you've ever wondered why we suffer, why we actually react the way we do, and why identity feels so fragile, or how consciousness fits into the grand scheme of things. So this book would be for you if that is something you're interested in. And if you're just interested in what is non-dualism versus idealism and all the things we sort of go over and talk about in the show. So actually chapter 1 is entitled "What is Idealism in Simple Terms?" So what I basically do there is I start with the basics. Why consciousness, not matter, would be the most coherent foundation for, reality, right? So what I do is I explain the hard problem, why materialism or physicalism struggles to explain subjective experience, and how science, from bioelectricity to integrated information theory, is sort of converging on a consciousness first worldview. So it's a different perspective. Chapter 2 deals with feeling good and doing good. So what this does is it explores how our inner state sort of radiates outward, right? So when we feel aligned, our actions naturally become kinder and more effective, really. And non-dual awareness becomes a practical tool for emotional balance and ethical living. Now, chapter 3 is all about unattachment. So here I'm going to break down the difference between healthy detachment and emotional suppression. Attachment, is the superpower of letting life flow without gripping it too hard. So this chapter just brings mindfulness down to earth, so to speak. You know what I mean? And then we have chapter 4, which is all about religious indoctrination and how to heal from it. It's called Healing Religion, Religious Indoctrination, because, many people carry a lot of psychological residue from, religious based teaching. So non dual recognition provides a way to reclaim meaning and connection without all the dogma or metaphysical baggage, and helps you kind of bridge that gap. You know, chapter 5 is all about the superpower of not giving a shit. So, this is sort of inspired by Stoicism and modern psychology. So, this chapter really focuses on just confidence, personal boundaries, and the transformative power of caring only about what truly matters to you. And chapter 6 is about life after death. So here I'm going to explore near death research, the aware studies, block universe theory, quantum considerations, and why consciousness may not be the end of of life the way materialism assumes. So it's just the perspective. It's nothing that you need to believe. I'm not really trying to promote a belief one way or the other. I'm rather agnostic about that, but there's ways to look at it and ways to sort of perceive death as a little bit different than how our culture has always sort of painted it out to be, right? So hopefully it brings people um, a peaceful relationship with that fact that we're all going to pass away. You know, we may have loved ones that are going to pass away soon or are dealing with it. This is a way to look at it in a positive way, without being too speculative about life after death, so to speak. Chapter 7. So this is about theism, understanding God. So this chapter attempts to reframe God through idealism, not as an external personal being, but as the ground of being itself. So it brings together spirituality in a more rational sort of philosophy. And I go through a lot of the history of you know, religious thought and ideas about God. Chapter 8 is about ego. So, what I do here is I'm going to take a deep dive into identity, narrative constructions, the ego's survival strategy through life. And this section really helps you recognize the patterns that cause all sorts of unnecessary suffering, right? So, chapter 9 gets into life as an experiential journey. So, it's sort of a reflective chapter on how experience shapes who we become and how we can step into greater alignment with life, you know. So it can be very helpful psychologically as well, because we all go through the pains of life and so forth. It's nothing new. So we want to definitely be able to tackle that and have a way of dealing with that. And this is my contribution for looking at life as a journey rather than, a destination we're trying to reach to. Chapter 10 is the last chapter of the book, and it's the mirror as metaphor. So here I'm exploring projection, shadow work, and Carl Jung's insights. So, life becomes a mirror reflecting our fears, our wounds, and ultimately our potential for awakening. And so we want to definitely be able to, use that as a way to help us through life, through that journey. And, self reflection goes a long way. Self awareness is what I'm basically looking at in this chapter. So, people often ask, what's the difference between non dualism and idealism? Well, non dualism points to the structure of experience, the direct realization that the observer and the observer and the observed thing that we observe arises together rather than some separate illusion, right? It's all together, it's all one thing for me. Now, naturalistic idealism explains why this is the case. And it's because consciousness is fundamental on that metaphysic. So the world is not separate from awareness, it is the appearing of within it. So one is the recognition, one is the worldview. And together, these both dissolve the illusion of separation and can be a different kind of perspective that's helpful practically in our life, and that's the whole goal of the book, of course. So, if any of this resonates with you, if you've ever felt there's more to life than the stories we inherit, this book is for you. It's clear, grounded, practical. It distills years of personal exploration into something you can apply right away. You can get beyond separation, integrating non dual wisdom into daily life, and it's using if you actually use this sort of perspective, it can be helpful. So you can get this book using the link below. I have it in the description. And for this launch, it's available just for $5. It's not, anything pricey or anything like that. It's only 10 chapters, but it's still very helpful, and I do thank you for supporting the work. And as always, Space Cadets, man, stay curious, stay open, and keep looking into the mirror. And I appreciate your support. Thank you so much, guys. Peace out.